it doesn't take long for her to realise her predicament.
They're all liars. You can't even trust them.
Thought you were your mates.
Not my mates. Mum's and Keith's mates. It's just like being at home. She's an alky and he's a perv. It's worse than my stepdad.
Go to the cops then.
There's no point. Tell them about that bastard at home, and all they do is let him go. First, they tell me that I'm lying, and then they try sending me home. As if.
I'd so tell that Dave to do one.
Can't, can I? Just won't stay there all the time. Been dossing at the Archers.
Bex, that's full of druggies and tramps.
Safer there than at home.
Doesn't your mum go to bear?
Like she gives a shit. Don't want me, Trace. I'll kiss my ass.
The charity Bernardo's helps thousands of children who are sexually exploited, but they say the scale of the problem is massively underestimated. They're also concerned that many children, just like Becky, are let down by poor coordination between the different agencies. How common do you think cases like Becky's are?
Every year we are helping 2,000 young people who are being exploited in this way. And that's across the United Kingdom, and that's only in the small pockets where we have enough money to help those young people. So you can imagine the numbers of young people who are at risk of exploitation, who are not getting the help they need.
BBC reporter David Akinsanya knows better than most. He grew up in care and has seen dozens of casualties, girls just like Becky, who ran away from home and became easy targets for abusers. As part of our investigation, David met with dozens of victims. You've been out talking to girls, working girls, on the street. What have you found?
A lot of them get kind of forced into relationships where they're relying on older guys, who I would call paedophiles, who are kind of preying on these young girls, giving them security, giving them somewhere to stay and maybe drugs and drink.
So they've been abused, what, at home?
Yeah.
And then have had to leave home because of it?
Exactly. I mean, either by a relative or by someone around the family. So they've managed to kind of cut off their feelings for sex, and that's how they can go in to become sex workers.
And if these girls are underage, I mean, isn't anyone out there looking for them, like social services or, you know, some kind of safety net to catch them?
I mean, there are projects in some of the bigger cities, but I think in most towns there isn't anything to actually support these young girls. If they're missed by social services, then pretty much they're on their own. And if they haven't got caring parents who care whether they come home at night, then they're just going to be out there.
This isn't drama. This is the reality of life on the back streets of Manchester for 23-year-old Rachel.
Business, love? Sure about that?
She started sleeping with older men when she was just 14 years old. She was forced to work as a prostitute a year later.
Don't ever go away, oh, yeah, yeah, 'cause I never meant to cause you no pain.
I always thought I was going to be a singer. You know what I mean? I remember being at that age and I was just a little character. I could just sing all day, you know what I mean? I really thought I would be famous. People say to me, now you're not meant to be on the street, you're not meant to be on drugs, you're not meant to be this, and I think, I sort of feel myself that I'm not meant to be there, do you know what I mean? Because I know I'm a nice person, too nice for the street, but that's where I've ended up. That's me. She's got the rounder face, I've got the more oblong.
Yeah. How does it feel looking back at these photographs when you think about your life back then? They're beautiful children.
I know, cute, aren't we? I know. I suppose when I look back I feel a bit sad because, I mean, I changed, but I don't know.
Rachel, here on the right with her twin sister, grew up in the Miles Platting area of Manchester. Her father left home before she was born.
If you looked at those without knowing your story, you would say, this is a child who's had a happy childhood, look at her, she's always smiling, but the truth is different, isn't it? How did you get from that to where you are now?
I don't know, I got put in care about 2 years after that, and then I just changed. Things just changed. It's all right when you're at home, innit? I was at home then. That was my mum's house. I was still living with my mum up until then. And then after then I went into care.
time I had crack, I was pregnant at the time. I met this guy on the street and I'd seen him loads of time. And he was with a girl who was really pissed and she was on drugs and they were taking, and I thought, why are you taking that? And I asked him and he said, because it's nice. And I went, well, what does it feel like? And he went, why don't you try it? And they actually gave it me.
And how old were you then?
15.
Rachel's crack and heroin addiction now rules her life. She sells her body to pay for it. Still a child, Becky is starting out on the same journey.
Want some? Got in it.
Get off!
What's your problem, eh?
Get the fuck off me!
Hey, this is my fucking weed and my drink. What are you here for then? Slag.
You can have a laugh with him, you know. Share a bit of weed. Chill a bit. I've done loads of stuff. And if you get a bit pervy, you just tell him to back off. It's no big deal.
Rejected by those she's turned to for help, Becky becomes increasingly vulnerable to other sexual predators. She says she's being abused at home, abused on the streets, and abused by Dave Grant. But she still keeps going back.
We can see here a child who's craving of affection, perhaps craving to be cared for, to be loved. She's not receiving that at home as far as we know. And so an abuser comes into her life and he offers her something that she's not getting elsewhere. He's offering her love. She may feel that her self-esteem is building. She feels good perhaps initially with this person. And then he builds a dependency. He introduces drugs into her life. He points out that there isn't anyone else that she can rely on.
The authorities know Becky is in danger, but little changes. Desperate for somebody to listen to her, she begins making stories up and gains a reputation for being a fantasist.
It's very easy for a child to get labelled. And once they're labelled as a liar, as manipulative, as, you know, making things up to get attention, being attention-seeking, then it's a way professionals can write the case off. They can just blame the child for every aspect. Everything that's going on is the child's fault. So all the interventions are focused on the child. If only the child would behave herself, if she wouldn't go missing. And the perpetrators stay invisible, which is exactly what they want.
Desperate and unheard, Becky begins drinking more and more and using more drugs.